It's still going on. Let's not forget, we lost more Americans this week to murder in New Orleans than Americans that were killed in the war in Iraq.
You know, you've presumably been taught for much of your career the virtues of objectivity and aspiring toward that. What did that particular experience, Katrina, sort of teach you about that journalism school model, about being objective, having to give equal time to multiple sides?
I live by the precepts of objectivity. I don't share with my family the votes I cast for president, because they get asked, and they need, to use the great expression one of several the Watergate era gave us, they need plausible deniability. The journalism I write every night for the broadcast that later goes on the air leaves my fingertips on the keyboard and then must go through several other adults before it goes into the teleprompter and thus on the air. Also, the journalism our writers write for Nightly News goes through me and about 3 others before it becomes news, before it's ready to be baked, because what we're doing is we're all bringing our various counter biases, or lack thereof, to the work to hopefully cleanse it of any ideological bent by the time it reaches air. It's a bit tougher when it is that seat of the pants thing where you're in the field. If you saw anything that approaches kind of a departure from right down the middle, it was just that as a citizen and as your representative, you couldn't all be up to your ankles in water in New Orleans that week. I have to be your representative. I have a strong suspicion you would have wanted strong questions asked of your elected officials that week, and I become your representative in that story. And it's okay to ask our officials where the help is for a magnificent city drowning in water that was, of course, not the fault of the federal government.
I mean, last night you did a piece on the Evening News about the crime wave in New Orleans that mentioned that statistic about the number of deaths in Iraq versus in New Orleans. Do you worry that we as a country have forgotten New Orleans, that we've moved on? And if so, how have you tried to use the newscast as sort of a periodic reminder?
Well, we've had some robust criticism of this, because a lot of our viewers have written to complain that we're, quote, on a crusade or preoccupied with the problem in New Orleans. I have one of the great jobs in the world, and because this story happened on my watch, and because for a number of reasons we became identified with Katrina, I work for a network news division that opened a bureau. We have a New Orleans bureau, and our piece last night came out of there. So that is our way, again, absent any kind of editorializing or taking it up as a crusade of sorts, that is our way of keeping the story before the public's attention. It's hugely important. Think of the people who just spent the holidays somewhere other than where they would have normally wished to be, and with families still scattered all over the country. It rewrote the electoral map this last time around.